Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome on back to the channel. My headphones got stuck on my toes. Welcome on back. I hope you're having a great day out there. Thank you so much for being here. What are we doing today? We are listening to the band Chase. We are going to listen to the track. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. There it is. Okay, Chase. We're going to listen to the track Handbags and Gladrags. This is off of their album Chase, which was released in 1971. This is their debut album. This particular track has been recommended, has been suggested. I have been told to listen to this track by Stephanie Thurmer. So Stephanie, thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you for your patience as well, because if I go back in the comments, you first recommended this particular track 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And then 1 year ago. One year ago. And then a few weeks ago. So you have been consistently, but not pessing. Not pesty at all, just consistently recommending this song, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the patience as well, because as I mentioned, I think most of you guys understand and expect, I can't get to everything, and I don't try to get to everything. I literally get hundreds of recommendations every week, but I'm happy to at least poke a few holes in that particular, I don't know, bag. Do what I can, you know? Anyways, I'm excited to dive into it. Let's go ahead and give it a listen. We'll talk about it after. Here we go. Tickle that organ.
Ever seen a young girl growing old, trying to make herself look right? So what becomes of you, my love, when they finally stretch you out? The handbags and the Gladrags that your granddad had to sweat to buy.
I like that little rhyme in there too.
Once I was a young man, and all I thought I had to do was smile. You are still a young girl, and you thought everything was a style.
Fantastic drumming.
But once you think you're in, you're really out, 'cause you don't mean a single thing without the handbags and the Gladrags that your granddad had to sweat to buy.
Going.
Sing a song with sixpence for your sake, and take a bottle full of rye.
That bluesy gospel tickling on those keys.
24 blackbirds in a plate, and you bake them in a pie. They told me you missed school today, so what I suggest you just throw them all away. The handbags and the Gladrags that your granddad had to sweat to buy.
Horns.
Oh, you got to listen to what I'm saying, 'cause I'm telling you, girl, right where you are. Oh, without the handbags and Gladrags, you're nothing. You're no superstar. I said,
Man, it's just ripping that out. Yeah, that was a bombastic track. That was really good. The horns, obviously, right? I mean, that's I wouldn't. Well, you could say and argue that that's the star of the track. We'll talk about some of the stars in this track, but the horns were so bombastic. I love the energy that comes from them and how this track starts off with just the horse races, just immediately into that gallop with the horns. Like that just pushes everything. But then in the verse, the horns back off and allow a lot of room for the organ, which I thought was a nice kind of switch up. Now I could be mistaken. There may have been some organ during the louder parts, but it was really more evident in the verse there when things kind of quieted down. The organ is going to be played. Hold on, I'm looking for names. Phil Porter on the keyboards, and I would of course attribute the organ as well. Really, really nice playing, especially in the break where he's starting to play these little ticklings of gospel / blues inspired keys, and it just rings very beautifully in that specific moment. Obviously, you have a bunch of people on trumpets and horns and stuff here as well. And getting into the final race, the final lap of this track, the horns, I don't know fingering and where the holes are located, which one's the high hole, which one's the low hole, but regardless, that high pitch, which almost leans into that almost whiny kind of sound. Because you hear, it's almost like when you have like a balloon and like it's deflating, that, I can't even do it that. I don't know. I don't know how to emulate it, but you know what I mean. You heard it. It's very high pitched, and I would imagine that it is very hard to sustain that note and to actually control it so that it doesn't wobble, it doesn't lean or come off balance. It stays right on the path. And I think that was fantastic in the way that it explodes with finality there at the end. Now you also have the lead singer here, who is going to be on this track. It's going to be Ted Piercefield, it seems like, and the way that he sings out in that last moment, pushing alongside of the horns, and then the horns just continue on that race a little bit after. That is really, really good. I enjoyed his singing throughout this track as well. The drums, is it Jay Burrid on the drums here. Just so good, so good. It's the type of drumming I listen to, and I hear this a lot, especially with more like 60s and 70s music. I hear a lot more variation in the groove. It's not just a static, here's a beat, play this ad nauseum, which is great, in certain ways in certain places, but there's a lot more of a live spark and a detailing in the energy and in the groove of the playing there, and I think that Jay did a wonderful, wonderful job in there. That's good. That's all I got to say on that. But we have a little bit more to say, I suppose. Ever seen a blind man cross the road trying to make the other side? Ever seen a young girl growing old trying to make herself a bride? So what becomes of you, my love, when they finally stripped you of the handbags and the Gladrags that your granddad had to sweat to buy? So I think he's basically saying, who are you when you take away the ornaments of yourself? When you take away the handbags, the clothing, like the nice clothing, the fancy hats. Who are you beyond this? Who are you, not physically naked, but mentally, spiritually naked? Like, who is the real you? Now, I don't know what a Gladrag is, so I'm going to look that up really quick. Gladrag, eco-friendly menstrual products. Okay. But it's also, according to Merriam-Webster, dressy clothes. So I think that's the definition we're going to lean on to. Once I was a young man and all I thought I had to do was smile. You are still a young girl and you bought everything in style. But once you think you're in, you're really out. That's a good line, because you don't mean a single thing without. You've made your identity these handbags, these fancy things, and the chorus, even the handbags and the Gladrags that your granddad had to sweat to buy. Your granddad put all this work, all this effort into making your life what it is today, and in trying to elevate your status, and you've taken that a step beyond, a step too far, and you've made the status who you are. Hey, that rhymed. And that's not really who you, like, who are you? That's good. Sing a song of sixpence for your sake, and take a bottle full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds in a plate, and you bake them in a pie. They told me you missed school today, so what I suggest, you just throw them all away, the handbags and the Gladrags. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm telling you, girl. You're no superstar. Sometimes it's that harsh truth. It's just face to face. You need to hear this. It's not always going to go down easy, but it's got to go down, and it'll make you a better person, hopefully, for what's being said. That's good. That's a good song. Good lyrics as well. Stephanie, appreciate the recommendation. I don't know why I dipped my head like that when I did, but I appreciate the recommendation. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. You can follow me in a few places. You can support the channel on Patreon. Thank you all for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. Bye.